Well, guys, I guess you can call this a victory because, as you likely know by now, the NHS no jab, no job nonsense is being scrapped, while the care home no jab, no job rule is also being reversed. This means that NHS staff won't have to be jabbed by this Thursday or get forced out the door come April like the care home staff did. On top of that, it also means that the 40,000 care home staff sacked or put on leave can go back to work, which of course is good news, but I don't think it should end there, do you? Me personally, I think the 40,000 care workers put through this lunacy should be suing the individuals involved in implementing it, and that is before we even get into the people who took the jab following the threat of losing their job. Obviously, they didn't give informed consent by any stretch of the imagination, because last time I checked, being threatened and coerced into doing something against your will is the complete opposite of informed consent. Though actually an argument can be made that no one's given informed consent since a lot of the data is still not known and much of the known data at the time has changed or been proven pure bullshit. Either way, it shouldn't just end with them giving the people their jobs back and dropping the stupid mandates like they plan. It should see the people involved with pushing this abhorrent nonsense suffering real consequences for what they've done. As I've said, I would like to see all involved personally pay compensation to the victims of this deranged policy because they implemented it and nothing more. Of course, many said from the start that these mandates on healthcare staff was just a threat to increase uptake, and given the backtracking now, that appears that it could be correct. That and of course the fact that sacking 80,000 healthcare staff might get the medical zealots on side, but the second healthcare is affected by the loss of staff, the government is righting the ship politically. Obviously, the public ain't going to be happy with that, as even the double or triple jab will see the lunacy in losing healthcare staff if they don't already, because eventually it's going to affect them as well. Obviously, the care home one starting in November though is now the worst one out of the two because it was actually implemented and cost people their jobs. But what must never be forgotten is the fact that trying to implement these mandates like jab passports is forced medical treatments and nothing more. It's not allowing free choice at all, is it? It's coercion, bullying, bribing, take your bloody pick what you want to call it. English common law gives you bodily autonomy and much more, does it not? In fact, as it goes, English common law actually makes lockdown illegal literally in every sense of the word.
In that direction. As my friend Jonathan Sumption has said repeatedly, lockdown is wholly illegal, antithetical to the traditions of common law, and has been passed with scant regard even to parliamentary procedure. Despite it, as well as its catastrophic economic, we now have a government debt that is on the same scale as the Second World War. It is deranged.
Shit, it likely makes everything they have done over the past 2 years illegal, to the point if this happened 400 years ago, ministers would be losing their heads in the tower. Nowadays, as I've said before, you don't get punished for making mistakes in government, all you get is rewarded, usually a peerage or something just to piss us off a little bit more. Or with the likes of Tony Blair, the Queen will piss in all our mouths by knighting him the absolute scumbag. Now, it should also be noted there's still a bunch of medical zealots sitting up there in Parliament who actually plan to run for PM when Boris gets the boot. This should concern everyone, though I don't actually think he can win. Obviously, I'm talking about the certified tosspot.
Jeremy Hunt. I'm so sorry, Jeremy Hunt. I've never said that before in my life. It's usually men who say that.
Yes, that prize-winning prat has bat flu derangement syndrome, complaining that the U-turn will make it harder for them to introduce mandatory flu jabs for NHS staff. Maybe a big pharma check cleared recently, so he's doing his part or something like that. Who actually knows? But one thing I do know is this tit needs to be kept away from any position of power, that is for sure. Now, essentially, this U-turn shows to me that it was mostly a threat to increase uptake, and like I said, is really the government admitting that they've coerced and bullied people into medical treatments. So, fuck the Partygate bullshit, this should see them all taken down, arrested and much more, with the media alongside them. All MPs who voted for these measures need to be called out, and in fact I might actually do that myself very soon. I mean, we have a list of the absolute scumbags that voted for first the care home no jab no job bullshit and then the NHS no jab no job coercion tactics, so it can be done pretty easy. You've likely heard them talk about collective responsibility for government. Well, how about collective responsibility for Parliament? The same with the media, actually. They can all own this shit together.